Hello everyone, welcome back to the Undercut podcast. Today's video, we're going to be talking about RB, aka AlphaTauri, aka Toro Rosso, aka Visa Cash App RB, aka Racing Bulls, aka VCarb.
That's too many AKAs.
So the Bahrain Grand Prix just happened, and probably the most interesting thing that came out of the Bahrain Grand Prix was obviously the big blow up between Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda. And it's not just a fight between teammates. This is a potential opportunity for a place at the current world champions, Red Bull. The current fastest car on the grid, the big boys, Red Bull Racing. So this goes a lot deeper than just its teammates blowing up. It goes a bit deeper than, it was Gasly and Ocon last year. It's Ocon and Perez another year. This is big.
Yeah. This has a lot riding on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's more circumstances that could come out of this if it blows up.
Yeah.
And it continued at the end of the race.
It did. It really did.
Wow.
So what actually happened was Yuki Tsunoda obviously was in front of Daniel Ricciardo. Ultimately, I think Yuki maybe got a little bit unfortunate with the strategy because he was up there with Stroll at one point, or should have been by the end of the race. But ultimately, he found himself in front of Daniel behind Guan Yu Zhou and Kevin Magnussen. And it was a kind of a battle, not for points, but for those lower positions, brinking on the edge of the top 10. And then they decided to swap them.
Yeah.
Because they believed Daniel on the soft tyres could get K-Mag, maybe Zhou. It's one of those things where you understand it. It's the first race of the season, but there isn't any points on offer. So where do you stand? Do you agree with Yuki or do you agree with Daniel?
It's tough, isn't it? Like, as a team, obviously Daniel on the softs, a bit fresher, Yuki on worn hards. But at the end of the day, it wasn't for any points. Yuki looked racy. He was all over the back of K-Mag. Looked like he could get past K-Mag. And then the call came in.
Yeah.
I can't say I stand with either of them. Because both have points to show why it shouldn't have happened.
So you're riding on the fence with this?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fence rider.
I'm not going to be on the fence with this. I'm going to hop off the fence. And I'm going to put a variety of the blame Yuki's way.
I think Yuki's actions after weren't necessary.
It didn't help him.
Yuki's blow up did not help. Which, like, if he just took it and was like, we're talking after the race, then I can understand. Because ultimately, Daniel was let past Yuki and then did nothing.
Yeah.
So, in theory, would it have been more fair for, I don't know, on a Yuki part, is if it was like how Hamilton and Bottas did in Hungary?
Yeah.
Look, let me.
But that was for a podium, though.
It was for a podium, and ultimately Hamilton had more to sacrifice by letting Bottas through.
Yeah, he did.
Do you know what I mean? So ultimately, if Daniel had gone, look, tell Yuki to let me pass. I've got these tyres. If I can't get past, I'll let him back through on the last lap.
Yeah.
Yuki would have been happy. Daniel would have been happy. It's for no points either way.
Yeah.
It was kind of an unnecessary team call. They probably just didn't want the two fighting and causing damage.
I think the reason they did it was because in case anything happened to people out front, like if, for example, like, if Norris and Hamilton and Russell all converged at the end, like we thought they were going to, if they ended up fighting, if they had all come together, that would have been K-Mag, Guan Yu Zhou, Yuki, Daniel all fighting for points at that point. So
exactly. So you can see the thought behind it. Probably didn't want the Yuki or Daniel fighting if Daniel had more pace as well, going side by side and running the risk of them crashing.
Yeah.
So you can see why, but you can see why Yuki got pissed off.
Yeah, you see why he's pissed. But I'm going to blame more Yuki. And and it's purely circumstantial to the seat that he's in. Like if that was an Alpine seat or pretty much any other team on the grid, I think Yuki has a right to be very, very pissed off. But I think because it's the RB seat, you're obviously Yuki's ultimate goal, you'd hope so as a racing driver, is to end up in Red Bull eventually, right?
Yeah, with the team that he's at.
With the team that he's at. The issue I have with it is Yuki knows that anyone that goes in that Red Bull seat is going next to Max Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
Now Red Bull obviously wants someone who is a team player. Red Bull wants someone who's a second driver, someone who can back Max Verstappen up. If Max Verstappen is behind and he's coming through, they want someone who can, move over for Max to let him through to help him with the championship. That's what Red Bull are going to want. Yuki's displayed today that he is not willing to let his teammate through based on team orders, and he's hot-headed about it. And if he's in that Red Bull seat and they need Max to come through, even if it's early in the season, I don't think he's going to do it.
The only thing I'll say about that, like, if you're only going to Red Bull to be a second driver to Max Verstappen, what's the point in racing?
Yeah, okay, good, fair point.
What is the point in actually racing if you're only going to be a second driver to Max Verstappen and being told at every race when Max comes through, move over? No, like Yuki's held his own there against a well-established race-winning Daniel Ricciardo, and he backs himself, and you got to give Yuki credit for that. As a racing driver, that's what you got to do, and he's done it.
That's fair enough. I mean, looking at it from that point of view, it's like, yeah, I guess.
Max Verstappen's well-established number one. Anyone who goes up against him is going to have the hardest time of their life. But the moment you go into a team accepting you're number two and you can't beat, you're not good enough. That's
what Red Bull want, though. That's the issue. Red Bull have made it abundantly clear that's what they want.
Red Bull want Max Verstappen to win. That's clear for everyone to see. But they also want a driver who's always going to compete and be up there with Max Verstappen. They want someone who will compete with Max Verstappen, or at least compete with him for more than 3/4 of the season to secure all the points necessary that they need. The moment that a driver goes in there with a mindset, second driver, move over for Max, confidence goes, and that's when the second places don't come in. That's when it goes to third, fourth, fifth.
I guess you could look at it like that. Does it destroy a driver's confidence knowing you're the second driver?
Exactly. And Yuki's one that will always speak his mind.
Oh yeah, no. Yuki backs himself to a lens.
And you either look at it the way that this guy, he's never going to be a good second driver teammate. But who goes into racing to be a good second driver teammate?
Yeah, that's true.
So you've got to look at his perspective that Yuki has done it for himself, and that's ultimately what a racing driver does. He goes out there for himself, not the team.
Yep, that's a fair point. I think Red Bull will still look at it that way though, because Max is their golden boy.
I think they'll look at it like that, but I think they can also appreciate and they go like, "Damn, this kid backs himself." And you got to remember, Red Bull know Daniel Ricciardo. They know how good Ricciardo is. And if this guy's backing himself against Daniel Ricciardo, on pace with him, bear in mind, on hards, Daniel got nowhere. You got to give the kid credit.
I mean, as a racing driver, no disrespect to Yuki, give him all the credit he deserves. He's a fantastic racing driver. I just think he's he's fourth season now.
It's the start of his fourth season now. Yeah.
He's still very immature,
hot-headed,
and like you said, I don't. How he handled the situation wasn't professional, and I think that is something. The issue is knowing what Red Bull are like. I think that's something Red Bull are going to look at. That's the issue.
The only thing I'll say about Yuki is he's still hot-headed now. Yeah, very hot-headed. However, he has progressed a lot since his first year.
He has, very much so, yeah. He's a lot more consistent.
His first year was literally all over the place. Every time on the radio, it was the F word left, right, and fucking centre.
And he'd either finish like 4th or he'd crash.
Yeah,
he'd have a really good result or he'd absolutely bottle it.
Yeah. You got to give him credit. He's learned and gained experience. He's still got that hot-headed streak, which he needs probably dialing out. But you got to remember, Max came into the sport with Toro Rosso and Red Bull. He was hot-headed, crashing quite a lot.
Yeah.
You got to weigh it up like that, haven't you? Like, you got like the drivers who are hot-headed at first and can dial it down. Hamilton was hot-headed.
Yep.
Drivers who come in hot-headed, if they've got the ability, they can dial it down, tune in, get the best out of the car. And there's a potential there with Yuki, I think. I think he's overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, I think he is as well. People usually throw the next world champions after Max. People usually throw Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, even Oscar Piastri in there now. I think people forgot about Yuki.
That's because they've been given a machine that's at the front.
Yeah.
If Yuki was put in that second driver's seat, he would do a better job than Perez, I think.
I can't say I disagree. I think Yuki would do very well in that Red Bull. I do.
All I'm saying is I would not be mad at like a Charles, Hamilton, Lando, Yuki, Max, George, all battling for first. Oh my God.
Something's going to happen there.
Imagine
Something's
Yuki
going to happen.
Rolling up on the back of that.
Send him one down the inside.
Yeah, Yuki. See, that's the thing with Yuki. He'll take chances to win a race.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
And ultimately, like, he's got 9 times out of 10, it's going to go wrong. But that one time, he looks like a god.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
So...
yeah, but, I mean, it's going to blow. I mean, if this is the first race of the season, we're in for a long season with them too.
I think it could be long with them too, yeah. I think they're going to be a bit of a falling out.
They're going to be the driver pairing to watch this season, I think. At the start of the season, I would have said Ocon and Gasly again because they had a few moments last year, but I think that Alpine's too slow for them to really be competing for anything. So I think I'd move it over to Yuki and Daniel as my kind of driver pairing to just keep an eye on this season.
God, yeah. I mean, to be fair, in race, the radio from Yuki, I can understand, like, all drivers will do that. You've heard it from Bottas before. You've heard it from other drivers before that.
You've heard it from everyone.
Yeah, you have. The thing that annoyed me and probably the immaturity that came out of Yuki was on the cooldown lap after the race.
Yeah, that was out of order.
Now, that, like, putting both cars at risk on a cooldown lap, it's not ideal, is it?
You've brought the cars home. Don't destroy them. Especially with the cost cap as well nowadays. Like, you can't be doing that.
By all means, just zoom past Daniel, but do it down the straight and give him a wide berth. Don't just, like, dive one down the inside, make a mistake and lock up on a cooldown lap, and then barge your way past him around the outside off the exit of the corner.
He's so lucky to get away with it. If Daniel didn't see him and he was moving over because obviously the race is finished, Yuki goes straight into the side of him.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
But, bloody hell.
It's all drama.
Yeah, big drama.
But that's what follows Yuki apparently, but I'm loving it.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say Drive to Survive season 7, is it now? Is going to be... Netflix are knocking on RB's door, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Put Gunther Steiner as the team principal and they're living life.
I'll tell you what, season 7's just going to be full of Red Bull stuff, innit, really? You got Christian Horner.
I mean, you got the Hamilton to Ferrari move, haven't you?
With that as well. But then, now rumours about Max Verstappen potentially wanting the Mercedes seat for 2025 because of Red Bull.
Wasn't it Jos Verstappen?
Asking Toto.
He's spoke to Toto and he's come out that he thinks Horner should step down. Yeah,
and then now stuff with RB. It's just season 7 of DTS is just going to be Red Bull.
It's already kicking off. I know. Kicking off, and we're only done Bahrain.
All right, bloody hell! But either way, we've got Saudi Arabia next in just a few days' time.
Let's see
Thursday practice session again, and I'm interested because I think it's a high-speed circuit, a lot of high-speed corners. There's only really the chicane at turn 1 and 2 that are low speed. So we'll see probably a different running order compared to Bahrain, and I'm very interested to see.
I think the Ferrari might go well. To be fair, they look quite quick.
They do. But to see our extensive thoughts and preview for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, obviously tune in on Saturday just before qualifying kicks off, where we will be discussing the Grand Prix and our predictions and our thoughts.
We will be live.
We'll be live. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this RB, Yuki and Daniel edition to the Undercut podcast.
Yeah. Delve into the drama.
Delve into the drama. That's it. See you in a bit.